All right, Salesforce developers and architects, welcome. If you're building integrations on the platform, you know the deal. Performance is everything. So today, we're going to dive deep into the essential asynchronous patterns that'll make your apps faster, more scalable, and just better.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever been here? You build this amazing new feature. You're super proud of it. You push it to production, and then the feedback rolls in. Hey, this is kind of slow. Your users are just stuck, staring at that dreaded loading spinner, right? Ugh, that's the classic synchronous bottleneck, and it's exactly what we are going to crush today.
And here it is, laid out plain and simple. On one side, you've got synchronous processing. What does that get you? Blocked users, frustrating timeouts, and, worst of all, smashing right into those governor limits. You know, Salesforce's built-in rules that stop everything dead in its tracks. But on the other side, asynchronous, better performance, scales like a dream, and, you guessed it, happy users. I mean, the choice is pretty obvious, isn't it?
Okay, let's really dig into this. The synchronous bottleneck. We need to understand exactly why this is such a critical problem for our apps before we can fix it. Seriously, if you take away just one thing from our chat today, let it be this. This is the golden rule. If it's not user critical, make it async. Think about it. Any process, any call out, any big calculation, if the user doesn't need to see the result right this second, it should be asynchronous, period. Adopting this one principle will absolutely change how you build things on Salesforce.
Okay, so we know why we need to go async. The big question is, how? Well, the good news is Salesforce gives us this incredible set of tools. I like to call it your asynchronous toolbox. And today, we're going to open it up and look at the 4 essential patterns that every single developer has got to know. First up, we've got the OG, the classic, the @future method. This is your bread and butter for simple, fire and forget kind of jobs. You know, like when you need to make a quick call out to another system and you really don't care about the response. You just want to shoot the data over and move on with your life. That's the perfect job for a future method. Super simple, super effective for those basic async tasks. But what if you need more power? Well, that's where Queueable Apex comes in. Think of this as the supercharged next-gen version of a future method. It does everything @future can do, but then it adds these game-changing features. You can pass in complex objects, not just simple stuff. You can chain jobs together one after another. And crucially, you get a job ID back so you can actually track what's going on. It just gives you way more control.
Okay, now we're shifting gears a bit. We're moving away from just running a single job and into the world of modern event-driven architecture. And that brings us to platform events. This is totally different. It's not about doing one thing. It's about shouting from the rooftops that something happened. Your Salesforce org publishes a message, like a news bulletin, and any other system that cares can subscribe and listen in. This completely decouples your systems, which is huge for flexibility and scale. And the last tool in our box is Change Data Capture, or CDC. This one is wow. So what if you wanted to send out one of those event messages every single time an account record is created, or updated, or even deleted? Normally that's a trigger, right? Well, with CDC, you literally don't have to write a single line of Apex. You just flip a switch, and Salesforce handles it all, automatically publishing these super detailed events. It is an absolute game changer for keeping data in sync.
All right, so we've got our 2 big Apex patterns, future and queuable. Let's put them in the ring for a classic showdown. This is a question that comes up all the time, so let's settle it and get crystal clear on when to use which.
And when you look at them side by side, the differences are pretty stark. With @future, you're stuck with simple parameters, no chaining jobs together, and good luck trying to monitor what's going on. But then you look at Queueable, it handles complex parameters, like entire S-objects, your actual account or contact records. It lets you chain jobs to create a real workflow, and you get that precious job ID for proper monitoring and control. The advantages are just huge. So this all leads to a very clear best practice. For pretty much any new work you're doing, you should prefer Queueable over Future for most cases. It's just better. It gives you more power, more control, more insight into what's happening. Honestly, you should really only be using @future methods these days if you're working on some old code or for the absolute most basic fire and forget tasks. Okay, let's switch our focus now from just running jobs to thinking bigger. We're talking about event-driven architecture patterns. This is all about decoupling your systems for massive scale, and it's really how modern enterprise systems are being built today. So how do platform events actually work? It's a model called publish-subscribe, and it's beautifully simple. Step 1, Salesforce publishes an event. It's just a little message that says, hey, just so you know, order number 123 just shipped. Step 2, one or more other systems are subscribed to that channel. They're listening for it. And step 3, when they hear the message, they react. The beautiful thing is, Salesforce doesn't have to know who is listening. And the listeners don't have to know about each other. That's what we mean by decoupled communication.
Okay, so when do you reach for change data capture? It's pretty specific. You use CDC when your main goal is to sync Salesforce data to an outside system. Think of a data warehouse or a backup system that needs an exact, up-to-the-minute copy of your records. That's the sweet spot for CDC. And the best part, as we said before, you get to avoid writing a bunch of custom Apex triggers, which keeps your org so much cleaner.
All right, we've looked at 4 really powerful tools. Now for the most important part. Let's put it all together. This is your ultimate decision guide, the playbook for choosing exactly the right tool for the job every time. Okay, screenshot this one, folks. This is your cheat sheet. Let's just walk through it real quick. Need to make a call out? Future or Queueable. Need to chain things together? That's Queueable, no question. Worried about massive scale? You're looking at platform events and CDC. And the best 4 columns sums it up perfectly. Future for the simple stuff, Queueable for complex Apex, platform events when you're building a decoupled event-driven system, and CDC for straight-up data sync. This right here will help you make the right call every single time.
So, why does all this matter? Why did we just spend all this time on these patterns? Because honestly, mastering this stuff is what takes you from being a good developer to being a great architect. It's how you build solutions that are scalable, that are reliable, that are truly production-ready. This isn't just about code. This is about building robust systems that don't fall over. And that is a massive skill for your career.
And hey, to make this super practical, here are the 5 takeaways you absolutely have to know for your next technical interview. 1, prefer Queueable over Future. 2, platform events are all about decoupled architecture. 3, CDC is configuration, not code. 4, the whole reason we do this is to avoid timeouts and governor limits. And 5, event-driven is the future of integration. Nail these 5 points and you're going to sound like you know exactly what you're talking about.
So, there you have it. We've talked about the problem, we've opened up the toolbox, and you have the playbook to choose the right pattern. It's all in your hands now. So the only real question left is, what amazing scalable solution are you going to go build?